Hi, I'm Greg.
And I'm Derek. Welcome to Men of the Den, and this is Monday. Yay.
Alright, so this week on the Den, it's QA week.
Yay!
You ask, we answer.
So, and as per normal, we put up the link. We went around fishing for questions, and we got them all right here, ready for our answers.
And warning, this video is going to be a little longer than normal because we have a lot of questions.
You guys are awesome. Thank you for submitting so much this time. We have a lot to talk about, and there's going to be some pretty heavy topics as well.
All right,
Greg. So Matt Hughes asks, what are some of your pet peeves?
Pet peeves.
I know mine. When you do the dishes and you put the mugs where the cups go and the plates in the same cupboard. I hate that so much.
I love messing with them and moving around the dishes.
No.
I know.
No, it can't be that way. What annoys you, though?
Toenails and fingernails. I always have my toenails and fingernails really, really short because it drives me crazy not to. This one here, on the other hand, will let them grow a little longer than they should be, and it annoys the hell out of me. He knows it.
All right. What are some of your biggest fears?
Biggest fears? Snakes and rodents.
Snakes and rodents?
I'll keep it easy.
I've got some weird ones. Spiders is my biggest one. That's a normal one. Clowns, That's a normal one. Expired cucumbers freak me out. It's just when you're like going to grab one and it's just... I also really hate being tickled. Really, it's actually a serious...
He actually has a very bad fear of tickling. So that was kind of cruel what I just did there.
Forget that was ever said. Wait, I'm in charge of editing. Never mind. All right. So next, we're going all the way back from Nova Scotia to New Brunswick. Kevin Justison. What is the one activity you've always wanted to do, but you've never had the time?
I'd like to do more traveling.
More traveling? Yeah, I've always wanted the backpack.
I work so goddamn much that I never have time to do as much traveling as I'd like.
Yeah. I always wanted to do backpack across Europe. Me and an ex were going to go talk. We were talking about one time doing a backpacking just across India. Then we broke up. So that never happened. But it's something I would definitely love to do. All right, Greg. This one's more for your forte.
Okay.
Kevin also asked, "What's your favorite horror movie, and what was the first horror movie you ever seen?"
Well, the first horror movie I ever seen is going to be this gentleman on my shirt right here. So I watched probably Nightmare on Elm Street would be the first. I can't say I have one. I like the more, I won't say classic, but the early 80s horror movies.
Early slashers.
Yeah, early slashers. Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Halloween.
Perfect. So
Christian Cosme asks, who is your celebrity hall pass?
That's a tough one. So what hall pass means pretty much would get away with anything. I think more lines like, you're cute. You get away with that. I don't know. Just what to pick from. Jonah Hill.
Really?
No. Kevin Owens.
Okay, Kevin
Owens.
Yeah, we already had
the angel sounds.
Kevin Owens again. I don't know. What about Nick Frost?
They both get a hall pass. You boys.
You get a hall pass? You get a hall pass.
But only you two.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
No, Craig doesn't.
So Bruno asks, how did you first meet Greg?
This Greg.
Yes. So let's keep this one brief because we've answered this one in the past.
Okay. So basically how it went. Had a date with somebody I was dating at the time. Stood me up. My best friend came up, met me up for karaoke. Greg was there with a couple of the friends. He sang I Touched Myself. He acted the song out. That was the first time I ever seen or met, or did I meet? I don't think we actually talked that time. The next time, we told this in the first video. I went to karaoke. I sang Beastie Boys. He said, good job. I said, you're cute.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
But he didn't pick up I was hitting on him. Alex asked, how did you handle your first breakup? Did you keep in touch or did you stay friends?
This is a tough one. But My first major breakup was actually a coworker at the time. Actually, my immediate supervisor.
Wow.
So I had no choice but to keep in contact. However, there was rough roads the first couple months after we broke up, but after that we were fine. We hung out. So I would say for the most part it was amicable.
Oh, perfect. Right. And Cedric asks, what is one game, show, or movie that you despise that everyone loves?
I despise. You're gonna hate me for this. I don't like Rick and Morty. Everybody I know,
Why don't
everybody
you?
I know loves Rick and Morty. I don't, and I've got a sick sense of humor. I just don't like it.
You just haven't seen the Mr. Meese's episode
Maybe
yet.
I just haven't seen the right episode. But at
Mr.
this
Meese's.
point, my answer is going to be Rick and Morty.
I'm upset. I'm upset with that answer. I am. All right, so one of the bigger questions for this Q&A session is, what is the difference between a cub and a pup, which is asked by Nate Horner. Now, we reached out to the community for this one so we can get a right answer. Chester Botowski advised us on his answer, as well as pointed us out to Cubs Out Loud podcast, to talk about the pup. They have an episode about the puppy community, which we are going to link below.
Okay. So, the big thing about puppy culture in the community, so to speak, is basically puppy is a BDSM subculture. The best way to explain it is that essentially the person that wants to be part of the puppy community either takes the role of a puppy, so does all the traits of an actual puppy, or they take the subculture of a trainer. Now, just like in other gay subcultures, I mean, realistically, there's people in the community that can kind of flip back and forth between the trainer and the pup, so to speak. You don't necessarily have to be completely submissive as a pup. You can be an aggressive pup.
No.
So just like real puppies, they come in all different shapes and sizes. I guess is a good way to explain it.
It's more sort of a kink culture with the identity of a pup space, as they call it, taking on the personality of a puppy and being treated as a puppy, whether it be with their companion or in a puppy mosh with involved with other puppies. The cub is a physical persona. And it's just like within the bear community, a younger pair.
We had this conversation with a straight friend of ours. Cub necessarily isn't even just limited to the bear community, so to speak. I mean, there's straight cubs as well. I mean, it's not as prominent, but you know, there's guys that identify, the straight guys that identify as cubs as well. So it's not just gay culture, but ultimately, what we're looking at is if you think that there's a possibility that you might be interested in puppy play, I suggest you reach out to somebody that's involved in that culture. They will be the best ones to answer your questions, tell you how to get started, give you some ideas of where you need to go. And ultimately, we know a few puppies ourselves. We know Chester, and we also have Adam Roca as well, who's a big fan of the den.
Yeah. And there's a few guys here in town as well.
And you know, and I know these guys well, and you, if you have questions, I'm sure they would be happy to answer your questions as well as other people in the puppy community. So ask questions. If that's something you're interested in, ask questions.
Nick asks, I want to talk to my husband about opening the relationship for a regular toy friend. Do you have any suggestions or experiences you'd like to share on this topic?
Honestly, the best thing I could say, and going back to when the topic came up with us, the best way to talk about it is just to be open about it. You know what I mean? There's no sense in beating around the bush. If you think, you know, you're comfortable enough in your relationship, you should be able to talk about your kinks, your fantasies, whatever it may be. If the other person's not into it, then then you've got to make a decision how important that is to you. Is your relationship more important, or is being open? I mean, it's a conversation between the two of you, and you both have to be 100% on board if it's going to work. Yeah,
it's your decision to make within your relationship itself, and make sure it's going to work out for the both of you. Don't be open on one side and not the other. Like, make sure it works out for the both of you. All right. So we got a young cub here, Jake Solomon. Has a number of questions. Greg, if you had the choice for eternal life, would you take it?
Eternal life.
If you could live forever
Yeah, I
and ever.
I kind of have a bit of a fear of death. So yes.
As long as he still keep these boyish good looks.
It's not like death becomes her, where you'd start to crumble and things start to fall apart.
Oh yeah, I would need the serum.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I would do it. All right. What was the first live show you ever went to? Live performance.
Ooh.
Now I'm gonna completely exclude local bands. Sorry, because I know I'm friends with a lot of you guys. The first big concert I ever went to was Somersault in 2000 in Halifax, here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Finger 11, Treble Charger, Eve 6, Catherine Wheel, A Perfect Circle, Foo Fighters, Our Lady Peace, and Smashing Pumpkins.
That's a pretty amazing.
That's a pretty solid first show. It's definitely something that it's a memory that never went away.
And I'm gonna go completely opposite. My first concert was Tim McGraw.
I thought you were going to say Troopers.
No, Tim McGraw.
Or Troopers cover band featuring the singer from Trooper.
I don't include the lead singer of Trooper with
the Trooper
a whole completely different band at a local bar at a concert.
I saw that for free once. It was fantastic.
It was really good.
They showed up at a karaoke night. Trooper did. Well, the singer from Trooper showed up at a karaoke night and sang Trooper songs.
Nice.
It was fantastic.
All
right. So, what secret talent do you have? Roll the clip. Do you take sugar? 1 lump or 2?
I'm diabetic. I can't have sugar.
2. Dire Barrios. Is the struggle real?
Of course. The struggle is always real.
The struggle is real.
Second question.
Yes.
Use one word to describe each of the other Den boys. All right. So
Spencer, Australian.
I'm going to use princess. Crown it.
Yeah. Aaron.
Bubbly. Energetic.
Yes.
Okay.
Ballard.
Spontaneous.
I was going to do the same thing with mine.
Yeah?
Yeah. Eric. Intelligent.
Yeah, I think I would go with that.
Inquisitive, intelligent, yes.
Inquisitive, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Phil.
Quiet.
Quiet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think of him more as the quiet one on the channel.
Yeah.
He's a little more he's got a lot of personality, but he's a little more shy and reserved than the rest of us.
Me.
Adorable. What about me?
Adorable.
You can't use the same word.
I
thought he was going to say abusive, so there you go.
All right. Send help. Drew asks, if you could go to a different time or place and see any show, who would you go see live? This is a tough one for me.
I'm gonna say, Queen.
Queen?
I'd go back to Queen in their heyday.
This is a hard one for me because you know how much I love watching classic concerts. There's Nirvana 1992 Reading Festival.
Right.
There's the time Sonic Youth played at the Art College here in downtown Halifax. Or early Sloan shows. But I'm going to have to say probably early Smiths shows, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, early Smiths or early David Bowie.
Cool.
And the last question.
Are we on the last one?
We are on the last question. Terry asks, when is the appropriate time to pop the boyfriend question?
This is it's unique to every relationship. I mean, you kind of gotta play it by ear.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, what makes you feel like you need to put an identity on your relationship anyway? Let things go. My suggestion is let things go on their natural flow, and you'll know when the time is right. There's no sense of doing it too early, and coming on too aggressive. Just let things flow naturally.
Yeah, don't pull the U-Haul on the second date.
I did that.
Then look where we are now. Abusive.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but yeah, but yeah, just go with the flow with this. Now, wait till don't go on 3 dates and say, "Oh, you'll be my boyfriend." That might not work in your favor. That might not work in your favor. Even though you may be falling deep now, what happens to 2 dates later when you're kind of get to the point where we spend a lot of time together?
Mm-hmm.
Wait till a moment where you've actually spent a whole day or 2 together and see how you are there. If you don't want to kill each other, give it a shot.
I think ultimately, if you're questioning it, it's probably not the right time.
Yeah.
You ultimately will feel out the relationship, and I think you'll know when the right time is. Yeah. That's my suggestion anyway.
All right. So everybody, that was our Q&A week this time around. I hope we answered all your questions the way you wanted them, and feel free to keep adding to the list here. We still have another week to go with the boys, and they can answer anything else that we may have missed.
That's right, and even in between QA sessions, we keep an open database all the time. So feel free, if you think of it, to throw a question in the database any time.
Yeah.
Next time we do a QA, we will answer.
And message any one of us on Facebook as well.
Mm-hmm.
We will add that to the database.
Absolutely.
We'll also strike up a conversation with you. We're really friendly. All right. So again, thank you guys again very much, and enjoy the rest of your week.